Imagine two people graduating from the same university. Both are intelligent, both work hard, both earn similar salaries. 20 years later, one has built financial freedom, the other is trapped in an endless cycle of paychecks, debt, and financial stress. What happened? Most people immediately assume the richer person must have been smarter. But decades of psychological research suggest something surprising. Intelligence alone rarely predicts financial success. In fact, some of the smartest people in the world struggle with money, while many average individuals quietly build extraordinary wealth. Why? Because wealth is less about intelligence and far more about behavior. Schools spend years teaching mathematics, science, history, languages, but almost nobody is taught how money influences the human mind. We learn how to solve equations, yet very few people ever learn how to control their financial emotions. That missing lesson changes lives. Psychologists have discovered that human beings are not naturally rational when it comes to money. We like to believe every financial decision is logical. But most decisions are emotional first, and logical later. Imagine walking into a store with no intention of buying anything. Then you see a large red sign. 50% off. Suddenly, something changes. You begin thinking about buying things you never planned to own. Did your needs change? No, your emotions did. Modern marketing understands human psychology better than most consumers understand themselves. Companies spend billions of dollars studying one simple question. How can we make people buy before they think? Bright colors, limited time offers, luxury branding, social proof, scarcity. Every detail is carefully designed to influence the emotional brain before the rational brain has time to respond. This is why intelligent people often make surprisingly irrational financial decisions, not because they lack knowledge, but because emotion temporarily overpowers logic. Behavioral economists call this present bias, the tendency to value immediate rewards far more than future benefits. It explains why someone knows they should save money, yet still buys expensive things they don't truly need. It explains why credit card debt continues growing even among highly educated professionals. It explains why financial stress often has very little to do with income and everything to do with habits. One of the most famous psychology experiments involving children revealed something remarkable. A child sits alone in a room. A marshmallow is placed on the table. The researcher gives a simple choice: eat one marshmallow now, or wait a little longer, and receive two instead. Some children eat it immediately, others resist the temptation. Years later, researchers discovered that the children who successfully delayed gratification often developed stronger long-term outcomes in multiple areas of life. Not because they were necessarily more intelligent, but because they had learned something far more valuable: self-control. Money works exactly the same way. Every unnecessary purchase has a hidden cost. Not just the money spent today, but the opportunities lost tomorrow. Every dollar saved has the potential to grow. Every dollar invested has time working on its side. Wealth is often built quietly, through thousands of small decisions, made consistently, long before anyone notices the results. That is why two people earning the same income can end up living completely different financial lives. One spends to impress others, the other invests to build freedom. The difference is rarely intelligence, it is psychology. And once you understand how your own mind makes financial decisions, you begin seeing money in a completely different way. Because the greatest battle is never between you and the economy, it is between your present self and the future you hope to become. If intelligence alone created wealth, every university professor would be a millionaire. But reality tells a very different story. Some of the wealthiest people in history were never considered academic geniuses. What they mastered was something far more powerful: patience. Warren Buffett once said that the stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. That sentence reveals one of the greatest psychological truths about wealth. The human brain loves immediate rewards. Waiting feels painful. Buying something today feels exciting. Saving for 10 years feels invisible. This is known as temporal discounting. Our minds naturally value rewards that arrive now more than rewards that arrive later. That is why people often choose short-term pleasure, even when it costs them long-term freedom. Imagine receiving $1,000 today, or $1,500 1 year from now. Many people would choose the immediate cash. Not because it is the better decision, but because the present feels more real than the future. Financial success often begins when people reverse that instinct. Instead of asking, "What do I want today?" they begin asking, "What kind of life do I want 10 years from now?" That single question changes everything. Another invisible trap is lifestyle inflation. As income increases, spending quietly increases with it. A larger house, a newer car, more expensive vacations. Luxury slowly becomes normal. People believe they are becoming wealthier, but in reality, they are simply becoming more dependent on maintaining a higher lifestyle. The truly wealthy often think differently. Many continue living below their means, even after they no longer have to, because they understand that freedom is created by the gap between what you earn and what you spend. Money itself is not freedom. Options are. The option to leave a job you dislike. The option to spend more time with family. The option to say no without fear. That is what wealth quietly purchases. Psychologists have another name for this. Delayed gratification. The ability to sacrifice today's comfort for tomorrow's opportunities. It sounds simple, yet it may be one of the rarest skills in modern society. Because every day, thousands of advertisements compete for one thing: your attention, your emotions, and ultimately, your money. The greatest investors rarely win because they predict the future perfectly. They win because they control themselves. They avoid panic when markets fall. They avoid greed when markets rise. They understand that emotional decisions are usually expensive decisions. Perhaps that is why financial education is incomplete without psychological education. Learning how markets work is important. Learning how your own mind works is even more important. In the end, the biggest obstacle between most people and financial freedom is not their salary. It is not their education. It is not their background. It is the invisible habits they repeat every single day. Small choices, repeated consistently, quietly shape extraordinary lives. The smartest people are not always the richest, but the people who master their emotions often become far wealthier than those who simply master information. Because money follows behavior, long before it follows intelligence. And perhaps the greatest investment you will ever make is learning how to think before you choose.